If you want to succeed or genuinely do something great in life, one of the things you have to stop is trying to impress the subhumans. And by meaning subhumans, I just simply mean those people that try to drown you or just make fun of you, try to clown you just because you did something different or you tried something different from the general population, which is mediocre people. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I just mean that just they cannot see you, like have a chance of making it, or like you being extremely successful by trying something different. Because if everyone is trying the same thing, obviously it's just going to result in something mediocre. But if you try something different, which has not been tried by a lot of people, it could be some sort of a new business idea, it could be some sort of a like creating content. It's not, I mean, even if you see tons of creators on YouTube, it is not a thing that actually, it is a conventional thing. It is not, it's not something that is certain to make you money. But if it actually makes you money, it's going to make you a shit ton of money, right? So when people kind of, they know that, right? Those subhumans know that, but they're kind of a demon, and they don't want you to have that chance at actually being something great or having good money, actually being independent. Like you don't gotta work for somebody. You can just make content and actually get money from that, or try some business that you actually genuinely love and make money, and at the same time help people, or like some sort of in between those things, right? So they don't want to see that. They just want to see you lose, and they don't want to have any risk of you actually making it, right? They don't want to just, they try to make sure that you have the least chance of winning. So, and you just have to, because a lot of people are kind of just tribal. I think a lot of people are tribal because it's kind of in our evolution to just be someone that just is kind of, I guess, respected. I don't know if that's the right word, but I would say belongs to the group. Even if the group is lame, but it's full of lame people, they kind of accept you in that, right? If a group is a bunch of losers, who do the same exact thing, I think that's when people don't feel like this guy, might be like a, might be better than us. They don't want to feel like that. So, and when they don't feel like that, I feel like that's when they only include you to the group. But if you look like someone that has potential to do something, or like actually try something different, then they try to make sure that you are isolated. And back in the day, it just meant simply probably dying because of you being isolated. But nowadays it's not like that, and you can find people that actually like what you do and kind of share the same message as you, right? So it is best to just not fall into that category, because they'll try to make sure to clown you because you did something different. They try to they have this little group that they talk shit about you behind your back, or like in your face. They try to just kind of make fun of you, or like just make sure that you kind of seem as like a weirdo. They try to make sure that you're the weirdo, but you're not. You're just trying something different than other people, and they just cannot see that. And a lot of people have this tendency to just kind of do something. The brightness is kind of low. Okay. So they just have this tendency of just simply impressing people, impressing those subhumans. They don't that they actually that they don't actually give a fuck about you, right? So they try to impress them, and in the process of impressing them, they don't do something they actually like doing, which could be really different, which could be kind of bizarre in a way, if you're not hurting people, or some stuff like that. Just pursuing a different hobby, a unique hobby, because people have unique hobbies because people are different. And in the process of doing that, they try to make sure that you feel bad. And but if you try to just impress them, you will never be able to impress them, you know. And while trying to impress them, you will always end up doing something mediocre that you don't want to do, or just in the process of trying to just make sure that they don't isolate you from the group. You know, you just don't take that risk of maybe looking ridiculous. I don't know what looks ridiculous, but I guess, you know, like even making videos, you know, to some people look ridiculous, because, you know, especially when it does not have views. But the moment it has views, it isn't ridiculous, because you kind of made it now. But it's just when you don't have views, or the business you're trying to grow, or the things you're trying to make is not good yet, you know, it has not given you the fruit of the work, right? So that's when, you know, it looks kind of stupid. You kind of feel like you're doing the wrong thing, and you kind of fear the feeling of like people making fun of you by you know, trying something different. But it's just, you know, it's just one way or the other. If you actually want to do something different, significant, you will obviously have to do something different. Or you can do the same common thing but do it on a really exponentially greater level. And that's one of the ways to be, I guess, better than people. But if you just, you know, want to live a mediocre life and you know, just please people, have a lot of people around you, and, you know, they're going to talk about you behind your back anyways, you can go ahead, you know, and be a person that just does not do something different. Even if they want to do something different, you can just stay there. But if you actually want to improve your life, you want to go somewhere in life, you know, and if you want to do something different than other people, you know, which isn't common, just simply getting a job at some company, right? Like, if you want to do something besides that, you want to be the boss, your own boss, and be kind of independent. If you want to, you know, just have that kind of lifestyle in your mind, you know, and then you have to actually stop impressing people, because these people are demons. These subhumans, people, they're demons. They don't have big goals in life, so they just kind of suck that from you, you know. I don't know if that's the right word, suck, but I would say they just, you know, take that from you, you know, by clowning you, making you look ridiculous. So be aware of that. Be aware of those people, and then only you can actually, you know, be kind of significant, or at least be in a path of being significant. So never let them, you know, bring you down.